Hello and welcome again to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. As always, if you're enjoying the channel, please do like, share and subscribe. Any support is very much appreciated. So yes, my US agent figure does look a little bit different to the one that you've previously seen. This is how he looked fresh out of the box next to the exclusive Captain America John Walker figure. Now of course it is a repaint of that earlier release, that exclusive Captain America figure. I can understand why the paint doesn't match up the one in the show, because obviously these would have been done off of concept art. However, it is a very slight change that makes all the difference and makes him a little bit more comic book accurate. So if we go back to how my custom looks now, let's start the timer and get the review on the way. So much the same as the exclusive Captain America figure, the whole figure is pinless, which obviously gives him a much sleeker look. It's a really nicely made figure. And if you've watched my previous review of the Captain America, the exclusive figure, you'll see my thoughts on it there. Having a look at the artwork on the box, you can see the red and white stripes down the front that I've obviously added with a bit of customization. On the front you've got your Disney Plus logo, Falcon and Winter Soldier and the US Agent title as well. The figure overall is pretty nice. It's a very sleek design. It matches the look of his costume, minus obviously the colouring in the show. And the pinless technology obviously gives him a real realistic look. I was a big fan of the Captain America version that came out a few months back. Let me just get that for comparison. So I am pleased that we also got the US Agent version. Obviously there are a few elements that did need changing to make him just that little bit better. But next to each other they pretty much do look like exactly the same figure with a different paint job. There's not much change at all in the sculpt. It is literally just the colour of paints. So obviously without painting the white and red stripes, you get a very similar looking figure, just one in blue and one in black. But side by side they do look the same, which obviously poses the problem when displaying them. You do get open hands, both left and right open hands, and left and right closed fists as well. And that is it for the accessories. So I like to kind of display things all together, so I'll have all of one show together on the shelf. Having these two side by side obviously creates some difficulties because they pretty much are exactly the same figure. There are a few subtle changes that made the two costumes look different. I'll get into that in a little bit. But to start with, just that little bit of paint on the front makes a huge difference. A little bit of red and a little bit of white. You will need both red and white paints because the red that is already painted is the wrong stripe. So to paint the whites on, you've got to paint the opposite one red, if that makes sense. Also as well, just to note, is you've got the Captain America logo on the helmet here, and as US Agent he didn't have that. But to start making these figures look different, I'll grab the shield for the Captain America one and attach him to the Captain America version, because obviously as US Agent we didn't see him wield a shield in his black uniform. The trigger finger I put into his ears so it looks like he's on comms, and there we go, I've pretty much got my Captain America figure displayed as Captain America. Just adjust that a little bit, and it gives him a bit of a patriotic look. Looks like he's obviously working with somebody else, etc. Then with US Agent I will give him an extra accessory of a gun. Again, we didn't get a gun with him. We did get the one that's on his leg, but you can't actually get that out of the holder, so I'll give him a gun out of my box. Just a pistol here, just to have that little bit of difference, so that then Captain America's got the shield, US Agent has the gun. Now obviously the helmet is a problem, but the Captain America version did come with an unmasked head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that unmasked head on my US Agent because he's got a bit of a frown, makes him look a little bit more anti-hero. So I'll put the unmasked head on the US Agent figure along with the gun, a closed fist hand, tilt his head down a little bit, put the gun down by his side, and then obviously having painted the stripes on as well, we've then got two very different looking figures. With the Captain America I'll tilt his head up a little bit to give him a bit of a good guy vibe, and with the US Agent, the unmasked head, I'll tilt it down a little bit, which gives him a bit more of a sinister kind of anti-hero, bad guy kind of look. But there we go, so that's how I'll display my two figures to make them different. The actual customization on it, or the repainting on it, isn't that difficult to do if you pick up the right paints. I suggest using something like Citadel paints that obviously will go on and stay on your figure as well. And just for comparison I'll put his unmasked head there so you can see it. But there we go, so that's how I'm going to make the two figures that are pretty much the same look different to each other. Just comparing the helmeted heads here, you can see they are exactly the same. They are literally just a repaint, one in blue, one in like a dark blue black. I really can't fault the sculpt though. The sculpt is fantastic. It really is detailed, and the likeness of the actor underneath there is almost uncanny. However, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to keep the unmasked head on the US Agent and the masked head on the Captain America. So there we go. Two figures that are pretty much the same figure that look different enough to stand shoulder to shoulder. If you haven't picked up the exclusive Captain America, or you can get hold of it, get a US Agent and give him a repaint, because after all they are exactly the same figure underneath. But yeah, not a bad figure at all. Thanks very much for watching Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. If you've enjoyed this, then please do like, share and subscribe. Any support is much appreciated.